All right, and we are live. Yay. Okay, I am so thrilled to be here today with the amazing Heather Ramsey. Thank you for being here, Heather. She is the founder of ReWired Worldwide, and more specifically, ReWired for Success, ReWired for Sales, ReWired for Business, and ReWired for Happiness. Ultimately, she is your guru when it comes to rewiring your brain, and really getting on the outside and the inside of what it takes to be successful, really in all areas of our life. Moreover than that, she's actually a really great friend and mentor, and someone that I've been working with and playing with and collaborating with for quite a long time. And so it's really fun. We were brainstorming just the other day, right, Heather, about how we could continue to help support each other. And you have this really exciting program out right now. And I said, hey, why don't we, instead of just sharing some of the gifts that you're sharing, let's take it up a notch and add some additional value to this community and get you live so people can get a sense of who you are and steal from some of your nuggets in person. And maybe, have the opportunity to ask some questions that they have, because I think
I'd love that. And way more important than supporting each other, it's supporting our tribes. That's why we're here. And I knew you meant that because you were totally integral about that. But I just wanted to say, if one person today doubled their sales within 7 days because they're here, I would have done my job. And that means that it's doubling, the cash on the kitchen counter for you and your kids or whatever. Like, that's what it's about. So I'm excited in however I can contribute.
Oh, well, we're very excited to have you, because I think especially when it comes to sales, it's tough. I think as entrepreneurs, we have to recognize that, we're not going to have business if we don't sell. And a lot of people are scared. So today we're so thrilled and so lucky to have you. And I want to open up this conversation about sales, how we can rewire maybe our mindset. And I know you very kindly are going to share a few nuggets, specifically, what does that sales checklist look like? What do we need to make sure that we're hitting all the time so we really can seal the deal, but do so in a way that feels right, that feels authentic? And then moreover, you have both a qualitative and a quantitative way that we can double our sales. So I know you work both on the outside in terms of what actions we need to take, but also working on our mindset on the inside, because I think ultimately that's super important, that we can believe that we can do it. And I know you are such an expert at mastering both the inner and the outer game. So I'm really excited to continue to learn from you, and see where we go today.
Awesome. Well, you've just about nailed it right there. Yeah, I think our unique approach is that dual approach. It's like, oh, I can talk to an entrepreneur and ask them, okay, what is their, say, 12 months business strategy or their marketing strategies, their targets? And yet when 5 entrepreneurs could have the same business, and the entrepreneur at the helm of the business speaks of it very differently. So you can have a strategy and a target that's same business, same dollars, you're going for this business, it's 100 grand this year, yet 5 different entrepreneurs, I can hear their inner game at the helm of the business that is causing them to fail or stumble or get stuck or feel inauthentic or all those things. So yeah, we seamlessly integrate outer game business strategies with the inner game entrepreneur at the helm of their business. So you said it very well, and I just wanted to really nail that and make sure that they know they're in the right spot. And I'd love to really get to some wins right away on the sales closing checklist or ways to double their sales, if that feels good to you.
It does. I definitely want to jump in, but I want to sort of touch base, because I know it's really important to understand why we need to do that and what we're trying to get over. And so I know you're so great at jumping right in, and the amount of value that I've gotten from all the trainings that you've given, and being able to walk away with some of these tangible actions and easy to implement strategies and, checklists, programs, one-pagers. You always have so much actual actionable content, which is great. But I just want to really get clear, you've worked with so many entrepreneurs, so many business owners, and you've said so yourself that you see the same pattern happening over and over again, that people do get stuck in the inner game. What is the biggest thing that you see in terms of people preventing themselves from stepping up their sales game, from getting blocked, from not having the success that they see? What is that biggest commonality that you've witnessed?
Beautiful. I'm seeing it in 2 aspects. I'm seeing it, one, in advance of the sale, meaning the entrepreneur is sitting in their own office for hours and days and weeks and months, staring at the wall, doing something online, hoping whatever they do makes sales, but they're actually avoiding talking to human beings. So there's all the dodging that goes on 80%, I'm going to say, of the time when I actually break it down and say, entrepreneurs, okay, what percentage of your day are you doing this, this, and this? It's like expense producing and or busyness and or dodging is the majority of the day. And then there's what percentage of your day, and sometimes it's 0, and or the week, maybe it's 1, and or the month, actually having organic, real conversations with human beings and building organic relationships is tiny. So I'm going to answer it 2 aspects. One is the massive expense producing dodging that's going on minute after hour after day after week after month, and they feel like they're in business, but they're not actually. You think of Walmart, they're having a zillion conversations a day, or offers. They have things on the shelf. The store is open. They have hours. The store is open and offers are being made all the time, whether at the retail level or even like at an IBM or at a service level. Offers are being made all the time and the store is open. Most solo entrepreneurs, their store isn't actually open and they're not actually in dialogue with their clients, but they're inside their brain. They think they're in business. So it's a huge figure ground reversal that we go through. From all this expense, busyness, dodging, a huge pile of it, and we outer game habit and inner game wiring, we clear all that out and then tip the seesaw in their favor of actually being in business at the simplest level, which is exchanging value for cash. If you're not in action of giving somebody value and they're in action of exchanging it for cash, you're not actually in business. You're in illusion. So that is one of the big fundamental shifts we run entrepreneurs through. And then the second is, and there's many in the during of the sale, and I'll just visually sort of corroborate, just if people love visuals, the sales closing checklist, which Carol has shared with you in the email and will share again on this post. We've, like Ernest Hemingway, taken the time to write you a shorter letter. We've literally, on one page, given you before, during, and after, a super easy checklist, which you can have beside you as a cheat sheet. Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
And we've even expanded it very simply, with a couple of sentences for each point after. So I'm not going to teach you the whole thing because I've taken the time to give it to you so it can be beside you. But one thing that I want to have jump off the page for you, and it's in this checklist, but I really want to share with you now, which is the second half of my answer. During the sales conversation, what's typically occurring on the downside, on the failure side of entrepreneurs, is that they are living a separation, which most humans do, period, but they're extending it into the sales conversation of, I'm over here needing money and you're over there with the money I need. And that separation and fear and scarcity leads to all sorts of unsales producing habits and dialogue. Let me not go into that anymore, but flip to, quote unquote, the solution of this one particular piece, which is literally, I have been thanked by many people on private conversations with prospects during sales conversations, thanking me for the sales process with me, literally more than once, many times, because I wasn't pushing them and or bringing my egoic fears, etc., into the conversation. I was what I call being a stand for them, beside them. And what I said to them is, I will always, my key role here is to guide you to your best answer. And I stay neutral, and I literally guide them about asking, okay, what is your goal? I call it goal, gap, and gold. What is your goal? What is the gap that you're experiencing? And let's explore if the gold I have may fill that gap and be a bridge to produce those results. And 99, if not 0.9% of the time, I and my prospects have come as two human beings looking at their challenge, being a stand for them, making it 100% about them, have come to the same conclusion. No, this gold isn't going to bridge your gap. I think that gold will. Or yes, this version of this gold will bridge your gap because I know we've nailed this time and time again, and I can tell you're teachable or you're hungry enough, which is half of the picture, what I bring to it and what they bring to it. If they aren't hungry enough or the gold isn't right for them, we will co-agree together like two objective boards of directors of their business. No, this isn't good for you. This is not what your business or you need right now. And that being a stand for them and beside them and 100% putting my energy towards their best answer versus my right answer. There's more to it, but that is hopefully at least the tip of the iceberg of a game changer. And therefore, I leave everyone better than I found them because they're clearer on their goal, they're clearer on their gap, and they're clearer at discerning whether my goal or anybody else's is going to fill their gap. Always, I've left them better than I found them. And oh, by the way, whoever is meant to join in terms of becoming a client has and more because of the process of the conversation. So I'll pause there and say, did that make sense? Was that valuable? Drill me all you want.
Okay, so there's a lot of stuff there. So thank you. I'm glad we had a moment to pause and to breathe. And for all of those who are watching and are listening and are saying, okay, there's a lot. I don't even know what my sales process is, and what my gap gold is. Don't fear. Have no fear. So I know you touched on this checklist, and I think once people download it, they'll have a lot more understanding in terms of how easy it is to really break it down before, during, and after. I think, though, for a lot of people in this community, Heather, I mean, you've been privy and exposed yourself to this idea of selling and sales and just what it takes to run a successful business for a long time. And I know a lot of female entrepreneurs, and there's men here as well, and males too, especially when you really care about what you're doing and you're passionate about what you're doing. For people to even say, I need clients, you have money, I need money, that whole conversation and that language for a lot of people is very difficult. So I just want to touch base to what you were saying before. Yes, it's about selling. And yes, we can't be in business if we're not ultimately offering a product and recognizing, I love that you said it's value in exchange for money, but more so than that, it's recognizing that you have something to offer and that people are worth investing in. So I just want to, for me, one of the things that has helped me embrace this idea of selling is changing the terminology and the language. And what I use in the community is that it's not necessarily getting money, it's actually offering value and inviting people to invest in themselves so that they feel that they're either getting more out of their business or their life or whatever it is. So whatever it is you're selling. In this case, you're quote unquote selling or offering, inviting people to invest in themselves with respect to sales. So that's interesting. And specifically for those who have something to offer or are entrepreneurial minded or have a goal to have their own business or are already in business, to really own their for lack of a better word, sales or offering game, but also to recognize that, yeah, if they want to step up their business, then they've got to embrace this. But maybe just to get clear that you don't necessarily have to say, okay, I need money and you have money to offer. It's no, you have something that you are offering. And if somebody needs that, then they're willing to invest. So ultimately we pay with dollars, yes, but you're just owning your service, your product, whatever it is, and inviting people in. And that exchange takes place with value and money, yes, but ultimately to be okay with the fact that, you're not just asking for money, you're inviting somebody in to invest. I think that terminology, that shift was a big thing for me. So the other thing that I
might just touch on too, you really touched on twice, and it's so important, is owning your value as an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And that is another part of the more inner game that we rewire on. Because, for example, one gal, I just love her, lots of good examples, but single mom, mother of 4, not only did she increase her sales closing ratio in 8 weeks with ReWired for Success by 250%. So
Wow.
he was closing 2 out of 10 people and now 5 out of 10 people. So 0 extra time and 250% more cash on the kitchen counter for her kids on the outer game. And on the inner game, she went from doubting the sale to surprised if they don't buy. And that really addresses, though I can't teach this second, how to shift, from not feeling worthy to worthy of it. We do within the whole program. And more specifically, I wanted to at least transmit that end result feeling that you might pick up on right now is, oh, surprised if they don't buy, because of course this is of value to them, because I put something together of value. And you can just relax and chill and be happy that the universe, there are people out there asking and looking for what you want. And really it's a matter of just meeting each other and exchanging.
Yeah. I love that. It's just, you'll meet those that you're supposed to meet, and allow that whatever is supposed to transpire to do so.
And they're looking for you right now.
Yes, you don't necessarily have to seek them. Just be you, show up, do the best that you can do, believe in what you're doing, but also have that trust that you're helping them, that you have something valuable to offer. And that shift in, oh my gosh, they're not going to buy, to, oh, I'm surprised if they don't. That's a powerful one. So thank you for sharing that. We only have a few minutes left, and I do want to open it up for questions. But before that, you had one technique that you wanted to share in terms of doubling your sales. So I know that you are very generous in your gifts. So, and that's going to be another gift that we can offer as well, like how to double your sales. But I would love, while we have you live, to share one of your favorite of the 5.
Okay, sure. So just FYI, as you get the sales closing checklist, you'll also have access to what I'm about to share. So just relax, same link, you're going to get it all, is the short answer. And then, let me just flip to screen share for a second.
Sure.
And I'll put us over here. Can you see the slide deck?
I sure can.
Sweetness. So very, very briefly, what I did was I pulled out one of the 5 ways to double your sales. There are actually even more, but I wanted to just briefly walk you through the second one. I was actually interviewed live on the first one a few days ago, so that's up on the ReWired Worldwide Facebook page, the first one, and then I thought I'd pull out the second one, so I'm going to just run you through a little sales boot camp right here and now.
Okay.
A few brief questions. You at least can write them down for yourself. You can always reflect later, but I just want to give you the sense of how possible it is. That's the main message. So one of the 5 ways is to up the clarity and desirability of your client results. So I'm going to give you I think it's the 3 brief questions. I won't coach you through the whole thing. I'll just highlight them. You want to write down qualitatively what are the actual and quantitatively results you have produced for clients. Then you want to look at how clear are these results, not to yourself, not to your clients, but to your prospects. Meaning 1 is, you just told me what you do, but I got no clue. And 10 is, that's a slam dunk. I want what you got. So clarity of how you articulate those results to people who've never experienced them before. And then desirability of your results to the people you're currently talking to, as opposed to maybe the people you ideally need to be talking to. So I'm going to leave you with those 3, and I'm going to go straight to, because we're short of time, a result that this produced. Okay?
Okay.
So one of my clients I was working with, from bad to great for sure. I don't know if you know Lara Ellis, Romanian fantastic entrepreneur. She's also host of a radio show, who she interviewed me first. Actually, she was in the same ReWired for Success Day training that you were.
I remember her.
She drilled me benevolently and ended up becoming a client, and also interviewed me first on her radio show. But I asked her, actually, I'll leave that off for a second. I asked her, what results do you produce for your clients? That's where we started. And she said, I help executives make decisions. And because I was committed to her better results than what she was getting, I was like, with all objectivity, if I was an executive, I say, I already make decisions. Why do I need you? So her articulation of her results before I help executives make decisions was leading to thanks but no thanks and months and years of wasted marketing and sales time and $0 trying to get anywhere with it, as much as she was passionate about her skill. But it was not a match to her prospects.
Got it.
We then worked together, and I actually interviewed her past clients. And the new results that she produces that are true is I support executives to make and save millions of dollars and raise their reputation in the marketplace. Plus, she now has $4.5 million worth of corporate testimonials that were generated from those interviews. This is really what she does. And now what she says she does. So we not only took what she did in the results, A, then we actually articulated it, B, in a way that's clear and desirable, and which is B and C, and then that produced an immediate 60 grand contract with one client, and then an annual ongoing 120 grand of contracts within 90 days.
That's impressive.
So can I teach you exactly how and all? I'd love to. I'm not dodging by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm giving you at least, 3 quick bullet points of I've taken the very complex thing of sales, drilled it down to 5 ways to double, and drilled it down to very specifics of how to double in each one. And I think the final thing to share is that when you get this sales closing checklist from Carol, from her link, you'll not only get a teach piece on this and the download, but the key is you'll get an invitation here to join me, for me to coach you live. And so that is the key. And I only do this twice a year. It's next Wednesday and Thursday only. It's the last times of 2017. But there I can run you through all 5 ways to double your sales and which one of the 5 is best for you today. So that is the real key. Yes, get the checklist, but register a spot here. It isn't about me. It's about you actually getting the shortest. I've taken years to distill this down to produce, to transfer results to you. So grabbing a spot there in either next Wednesday or Thursday's live, not pre-recorded, interactive, semi-custom to you, you'll figure out which one of the 5 ways is best for you. And that's the real game-changing results I want to produce for you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to share all this information. That is extremely generous. I have been to one of Heather's live trainings before, more than one, and they are very valuable. She's extremely generous in the strategies and the concepts and the ideas that she shared.
This one is online, so you don't need to buy a ticket, you don't need to drive, you don't need to park. It's just boom, get on your laptop and we'll interact.
Amazing. So we're going to share that. So when you get your checklist, the sales checklist, then you'll also have access to all of this information, and we'll put reminders in the comments. I just want to hear from anybody now because we literally have 2 minutes. If anybody has a burning question, if you want to stop the screen share, then we can just get in the chat. And if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, queries for Heather while we have her for another 90 seconds or so, then please feel free. We can continue the conversation. We are going to post this recording as well, so you'll be able to watch this training in your own time. If you have any questions, Heather has graciously agreed to answer those and be available even beyond this call. So if you do have any questions, then feel free to reach out. But if you really want to get this gold and continue this process, then I invite you to join the live training that's happening next week. And again, we'll have all that information in the comments. But right now, popcorn style, if anybody has a question, please raise your hand. This is the beauty of being able to do this live. We've got Heather right now with us. So feel free to post a question in the chat box or raise your hand and we can unmute you and we can even have you live ask your question. But again, it's got to be a quick one because we don't have too much more time. Anyone have anything to share, ask?
Beautiful. Drill me away, and or we'll loop in when we post this live as well, and be following the comments over the next 24 or 48 hours. So if you ask them in the comment box, we'll be sure to loop back and get your answers to you.
We will, we will. So I just wanted to put in, so one of the comments that I not put in, I'm pipe up. One of the comments that I posted was this whole goal gap gold. I mean, there's so many little nuggets you could have taken away from this short period of time that we had together, and lots more coming. But even just for you right now, wherever you might be, identify what your next biggest, best goal is. I know we have big dreams, desires, goals, huge visions. Love that. I'm all about, yes, dreaming big. But what is your immediate goal? What is the gap? And how are we going to get to the gold? And just start thinking about that. And then all of these tangibles that you're going to be getting from Heather and beyond are going to make a lot more sense, because we want to be able to implement it. So in order for you to maximize the learning that you're going to get from this checklist, from the 5 ways to double your sales, is to really identify what your biggest goal is, what is your gap, and how you're going to get to the goal. So just think about that. For me, that really resonated. Okay, what's my goal gap goal? I love it. So I'm going to be thinking about that.
And then we can augment that, which is, yes, as entrepreneurs, think of it for yourself, but also think of it from the dialogue in your prospect's head. So what is their various goals that you can solve? What are their various gaps that you can bridge? And then what is your gold that can bridge their goal and gap? So yes, do it for yourselves as an entrepreneur. And also from a sales standpoint, write it down with, say, your top 3 avatars, their goals and gaps, and specifically how your gold bridges their gap to their goal.
Love it. Oh my God, so much goals, gaps, and gold, and lots of ideas. We're just going to have you back at some point where we can dig more into this. But I want to honor everyone's time. I want to honor your time, and thank you so much for being here live, for showing up, for sharing who you are, and for sharing so many of your gifts and your tangible takeaways and your knowledge, your expertise in terms of really nailing this whole sales pitch, which is so important for small business owners and entrepreneurs. So thank you, Heather, for being with us. For all of you,
just make sure, gang, that you click on Carol's link there to get it all, and to ensure that you get a spot so I can support you next Wednesday or Thursday live and custom for you.
Exactly. And again, we'll share all that information in the comments. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, we'll continue the conversation. As Heather said, we'll also be monitoring the comments. So until next time, thank you so much for being here. Heather, thank you for being here, and keep dreaming big, playing big, and living big. Woo! We'll see you next time.
Living big.
Bye.
Appreciate you from across the ocean.
Right back at you.
Cheers.